You are now about to witness the awesome, crushing might of wait for it. Oh, welcome my friends. Drinks for all my friends. To a show that seemingly never ends. Round number 271. The show is called Knuckle Up. As you may well know, I am your host, Eugene S. Robinson. And we got a dead week this week. We're going to talk about UFC 210. Future events as yet unknown. If you recall, those were from the Hitlerian 3 types of secrets. First 30 seconds, Hitler, yes. WME strategies, strategies, and secrets. But first, Stigmata, calling it a just. The song is called Intro All of Nothing. Bob Riley singing the words that make it all make sense. I'm taking a real good look at you. I'm taking a real good look at your face. Always nothing. Being paid back in full. Always nothing. All right. More than one use out there who would claim that he was a gentleman. That would be me. Like Frank Sinatra says, keep the party polite. Hitler said there were 3 types of secrets. Those we share, those I keep from you, and those regarding future events as yet unknown. And that's what the show is largely about. Future events as yet unknown. Now, if you remember Christopher Browning in his answer book to Daniel Goldhagen's book, Hitler's Willing Executioners, he said that that driven as he was by Providence, sorry, I need to, yeah, I've switched studio rooms. Yeah, studio rooms. Driven as he was by Providence and perception of Providence, that Hitler was looking for signs and symbols, rhymes and riddles about the rightness or wrongness of whatever it was that he was doing. And in a lot of ways, he got caught up in the same tar baby that enmeshed Saddam Hussein, who, if you don't remember, was given encouraging signs regarding Kuwait. He stands up in a crowded room and says, "I think I'll invade Kuwait." And he's waiting for George H.W. Bush to say something. George H.W. Bush, in very diplomatic back channels, front channels, says nothing. Says absolutely nothing about the invasion of Kuwait. A reasonable person could assume the way is clear. I don't know if you've ever had that sensation. You've told somebody, hey, well, okay, let's keep it clean this early in the show. Well, we don't need to keep it clean. Oh, wow. How did this happen? Well, this is strange. I'm seeing some comments now while I'm doing the show. Who knows what's going on? Actually, I don't even think these comments are on this show, but they are comments from some show. Genesis Arc, I'll go 1291. Are these Mastermind 487? Are you intending these for me? Can I see these? Anyway, I remember telling somebody at some point, the next time I see you, I will be fucking you. Leaving the person a number of options. They could avoid seeing me. They could see me in a situation or a circumstance that makes it impossible for me to do what I said I was going to do. Or they could just not see me. In this instance, the woman chose the third. I never saw her again. Perfect. So you wait. You say something like, I think I'll invade Kuwait. You wait for a response. You get no response. You invade Kuwait. Simultaneous to the invasion of Kuwait, maybe George H.W. Bush is running for office. There's a dip in the polls. There's a wimp factor. He's like, hey, I got to do something to macho this up. Get out of Kuwait. What the fuck is like my Billy Bob Thornton story? You just told me I could go in Kuwait. Oh, I get it. I get it. Baby steps. Like, what about Bob? This is death therapy. You want me to stay, but you're really telling me to go. I got it. No, you got to go. Yeah, sure. No, you really got to go. Yeah, sure. I'll go. We're going to attack you. Oh, he's really playing this well. And next thing you know, you're hanging from a rope in some basement after some half-assed military tribunal. So ends Saddam Hussein. Of course, George H.W. didn't do this. His son did it. In the same way, Hitler had a reasonable expectation. Yes, he was driven by Providence, but he was also a man of the world. And if you don't think that there's recently a book came out about who leaked this, who leaked U.S.'s secret military plans to the Germans, and people say, well, we don't know, but one of the suspects was FDR, who was an isolationist and didn't want the U.S. involved. We leaked military plans. There's enough of an uproar. I got what I want. I'm not in. Hitler was surprised as fuck that Japan went off the reservation and attacked. They didn't expect that. The German-American Bund, you had people wearing swastika. Charles Lindbergh at Madison Square Garden didn't think he would, again, put the finger in the air, didn't think that they would invade or declare war. And yet it happened. Hey, what the fuck? He was shocked, surprised. He said, this mongrel nation, so what, they interfere. I got an ocean between us. I got the military plans. It's a mongrel nation. They're not going to, forget it. I don't need to worry about the U.S. Japan wasn't going to help us in a way they can handle their problems in Indochina. So it goes. That if you go to UFC 10, let's do that now, and look at the fights on the card. The same strategy, because we got the Bushes in the mind, the same strategy that is in play there is in play here. The same one that we've been talking about the last few weeks. I'm going to go, of course, there's If I Did It later on this week. What are people talking about Chuck Norris? How did I get in this show? Well, I'm guessing you all can see me. I don't know what room I'm in. I don't know where I am or what's going on. How's that? How's that for a start? Some of you are hearing it, so that's not a problem. So let's look at how they've structured this card. Remember, they've gone with all politics is local. Let's go play micro ball. Let's go granular. Miles Jury and Mike De La Torre. If I tell you under normal circumstances that Miles Jury and Mike De La Torre, I'm sure on the Care Don't Care preview, which we'll do probably Wednesday of this next upcoming week, I'm pretty sure you're gonna go, I don't give a fuck about Miles Jury and Mike De La Torre. But look at the numbers. Miles Jury is 15-2. Mike De La Torre knows he's Mike De La Torre. You got motivated sellers, or in this instance, motivated buyers. And what they be buying is a fight that's going to get you higher up on the card versus a little pink slip. Now, I don't know where these guys are. Fight itself is in New York. Shuffling off to Buffalo. Barely New York for those of, I'm sorry, you guys upstate. You know, the city folks don't give you the respect you deserve. Gregor Gillespie is 8-0 against an Andrew Holbrook who's 12-1. Under normal circumstances, I'm not tipping my hand about the care don't care preview, but on normal circumstances, I don't give a fuck about Gregor Gillespie and Andrew Holbrook. But can you see them working? Yes, part of it is Providence. Part is spending $4.2 billion on a company, and they said, look, if they just keep going along as they're going along, we'll be fine. Some of it is trimming institutional fat. Some of it's putting a new gloss on it. Some of it's changing stuff around. But some of it is taking micro ball and going, I mean, I don't know if Gregor and Andrew Holbrook would show up, but if they don't, nobody will. And if a guy who's 8-0 is not fighting like crazy to keep that 8-0 against a guy who's 12-1, then there's no hope for anybody. Same with the next fight. Josh Emmett, 11-0 against Desmond Green. Desmond Green is 19-5, but if you're 19-5, that means you fought 24 fights. If you had 24 chances of a promotion and you didn't get the promotion, you might be kind of cranky. Sorry. You might be kind of cranky. You might fight like your head is on fire. You might do something to elevate the undercard. Now, going into it, nobody's going to say, man, that Josh Emmett, I really want to see that Josh Emmett. But something about the numbers tells it all. So some of it sticks to the formula that we've identified with their micro granular formula of delivering on the cage side level. And then some of it is just Providence. Like you hope the same thing that motivates you to pick a Josh Emmett motivates a Josh Emmett to fight a good fight. Okay, thank you. I got a text. You can see me and you can hear me. So I'm not, it's like Tommy. The Who's Tommy. And so then you get into Thiago Alves and Patrick Cote, and now we get into veterans. I don't know where they are. Probably not getting tons of money, but decisions need to be made. You're not fighting the fight that you're fighting. You're fighting the fight that you could fight tomorrow. And if you don't think there's somebody sitting on WME side going like this, you're wrong. Got some names, but names whose heads are bumping up against the ceiling. So it's a combination of planning and Providence. Providence and planning. Contingency and dumb luck. I mean, there was a time when Conor McGee was corralling Chuck Liddell. Said, I'm going to be the biggest thing, man. The biggest thing. Oh, really? You're going to see my name in lights. Yeah, okay. And so on and so forth. Magomed Bibliotov, 13-0. Kachugian, 8-1. So you got the numbers. They're playing the numbers game. I'm sure it's a quant thing. I'm sure they got some guy from Wharton Biz School sitting running the numbers just like BCS, but for fighters. Calvillo, we just saw her fight. 4-0 against the Pro Gonzalez. And I'm sorry, my hat goes off to the, I read about it in the Guardian. Hat goes off to the Muay Thai fighter who died from heat stroke. This is a time of year where I find myself most prone to heat stroke because it's been cold. And so I'll go in to train with 3 shirts on under a gi. And I'll drop about 3 pounds of water weight, and I don't drink until the end because I want to, you know, let my body know who's boss. And my body is like, oh, you gonna tell us we're the boss? The fuck are you, man? So I feel fucking ill right now. Yo, yeah, I got some water. Well, I didn't really get some water. I got some fluids, some juicy fluids, which I try to stay away from. And because they had some sort of calories, they rocketed through me. You haven't lived until you've almost pooped in your front yard. The neighbors think you're nuts anyway. That's not a good look. Anyway, so you see what they're doing with this UFC 210. They, unlike some of the other commentators have talked about, they've not abandoned the front line, the undercard, the early card, not at all. Because these guys are sucking up resources, so they have got to play since they are being paid. And after we get Will Brooks, Patrick Cummins, Blachowicz, Weidman, Mousasi, and then the headliner fight. You've got real bona fide fights. And I'm not saying these others are real bona fide fights. And what I'm saying when I say real fights is you would put up with a lot before you're gonna call bullshit on any of these 4 fights. You will put up with a lot. Not going to make any picks now. That's what Care Don't Care is for, and shit needs to develop. I got my spies out there at AKA. I got spies everywhere. I haven't heard from everybody. I want to know, make a decision, an informed decision. I'm that guy at the racetrack that you want to follow around. He's waiting till the last minute to get to the window because he doesn't want you to know what he's picking because he doesn't want to change your morning line. So I probably need some fluids. So I think it's a solid philosophy because really, you know, maybe you got some New York fighters, maybe Ally Quinton's like, hey, could you put me on the card, buddy? Could you? You know what? I think it's a numbers game. If you haven't read it yet, there's a thing about Mercer in the New Yorker, the guy who essentially funded Trump's campaign, the multi-gajillionaire who funded Trump, and he created some sort of software program that quantified stuff that allowed you to more effectively make stock trades. And I remember in college getting into some argument with somebody about free will and determinism, and say, okay, let's for a second. I assume that they both could coexist. I'm one of those guys. And I say human experience is like a shoebox. If I have one thing in that shoebox, I don't have so much variation, but human experience has more than one thing in the shoebox. It has a lot of things in the shoebox. But it doesn't have an infinite number of things in the shoebox. Therefore, it doesn't have an infinite number of choices. Finite equals finite. Now, I could do anything in the next 25 minutes. But based on history, I do not have an infinite number of things to choose. I will not choose an infinite number of things. Why? Because I don't have an infinite number of things. Why? Because I don't have an infinite amount of time. So my choices are prescribed, which means that a reasonably intelligent observer could tell you exactly how the rest of my day is going to go, accepting minor variation. If I'm going to get on the freeway, I open myself up to happenstance. But even then, what kind of happenstance? Will I get behind a cattle truck that has a gate unlocked and cattle will fly? Maybe. But even that, having imagined it, I have then limited infinite to finite again. So the idea of applying quant science to fighting is not as crazy as you see. People are unhappy with the BCS, but I don't need names. I don't need names. I need numbers. I need fighters. I need their ages. I need their teams. And I need their win-loss record. That's what I need. And with that, I could probably, a fairly smart, intelligent, intuitive person could Eugene, that's timely. And that's, listen, we're not talking the same game. without talking casino guys who are trying to put on a good show necessarily. We're talking about people who borrowed $4.2 billion to make that $4.2 billion into a franchise that rivals other $4.2 billion franchises. This shit's not being left to accident. And until you start coming away from these fights, not having been to the fights. If we are talking on Tuesday about a fight that we just read about because nobody saw it on Saturday, that's a very different story. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about something completely different. We're talking about how to create magic in the cage where there's no magic. And the reality of it is, you're not, if there was a way to patent how you made the guy who was corralling Chuck Liddell in the hallway with big dreams about how his name was going to be in lights, you would have done that, but you can't. And nothing is more painful than the fighter trying to talk his way into that kind of stuff, you know? And I hate to keep coming back to Mr. Woodpile, but Chris Weidman is there and he's talking now. He's talking street fight. Yeah, was this trying to butch up your image? You're the kid brother. Always going to be the kid brother. You don't vibe badass. I rolled into jiu-jitsu today and I was like, man, you know, I've always been a big fan of Sobral, Babalu Sobral. One, because I know from close associates that he's nuts. And two, he appears to be probably one of the more dissolute fighters I've ever seen. It's not like he's acting like he's dissolute. He is dissolute. It's not like he's acting like he's been out drinking, drugging, and whoring until 5 in the morning before he came to train. He was out till 5 in the morning drinking, drugging, and whoring. And there's something clean about that in my mind. Except when you're that guy, you're drag assing in, not at 8 in the morning, but noon, and you feel like, oh my God, Borgia Moy, I need some help. I don't know what. I need a new sport. Is there something, can I get on the accelerated path to get the black belt so I could be done with this? In any case, it's a solid strategy that the WME is employing, and it's not without the providential aspect. And that's why I'm compelled to watch. I'm watching in a different way than I watched in the past. There was an element of P.T. Barnum with the bald one in the prior administration. You got show guys putting on shows, showmen putting on shows. Largely intuitive. $4.2 billion? Yeah, maybe. But I see a science working here. And I said I was going to talk about steroids. Jaws wanted me to talk about steroids and performance-enhancing drugs. And from where I'm sitting right now, I can see the hand that Mitt Romney talked about his folders of women. I see my steroid folders, which at this point now, Jesus Christ, is more than 30 years old. I should probably update them. But it's good. Some of it's good basic science that still holds. And one thing I've noticed about this, and it could be just me, but they recently got a guy who was dirty, he came piss dirty, and it was like a year ago. No more of this Johnny Boney Joni stuff 2 days before the fight. No. So what happened with this guy, this Brazilian cat? I forget his name. I don't have the thing open in front of me. What happened to him that they pegged him a year later? The hell was that about? A year later. Well, that certainly gives you some flex room. The idea is fundamentally to have the fights go off as the fights would go off. Yeah, and I understand the GSP thing, not wanting to fight a juiced up Johnny Hendricks, and it's dangerous. It's like fighting a fighter with a baseball bat when you don't have a baseball bat. Understand all that. completely and totally. But I don't understand what's going on when you're testing a guy a year later, or it's taken some time to catch him when the science is pretty solid. Hold on, I'm texting. Sorry. I got plans. I'm going to be on somebody else's radio show tonight talking about the green room. It's a movie review thing. I don't know what it is. I got to go to San Francisco to do it. So the steroid thing, I mean, look, you put in place a rigorous testing regime, you put in place severe punishments, and you put in place a gap time. And realistically speaking, you look at some of these guys, when was the last time they fought? It's not like you have a lot of chances. So knowing that you're going to fuck up in any calendar year, and that could set you back. Okay, I'm the average UFC fighter. How many unless you're Cerrone, how many times am I going to get a chance to show my shit in the course of a year? Twice? I'm going to take a chance and get popped, and then have that drop to 1, and then expect to keep my job? I don't think so. So then you've got a relatively clean playing field, and in places like some of these cards seem to be more prone to dirtiness than others. I have reasonable suspicion that last Brazil card had almost half the fighters on steroids fighting. I don't know what I come from that number. I'm just looking for the signs. What are the signs, Eugene? Moon face, if you're using stanozolol, causes you retain fluids. So moon faces. Refractory period, very low. Like a boom, 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 boom. Aggression. People are looking for acne. That's not always a given sign. These guys are training 3 hours a day, rolling around on dirty mats. Could happen. But that's also part of the sign. Slight puffiness under the nipple, around the nipple. Corey Anderson has traditionally had it. It could be naturally occurring gynecomastia. It does happen naturally. But guys are also going to the GNC, taking stuff like, these test boosters, which they've then done side studies and found out these things. It's like actually the people who had that noodle house and they were putting heroin in their noodles had a line down around the block. Man, I love the noodles. Noodles, I don't even know. I'm just addicted to them. Yeah. So you have a machinery that is sort of coalescing around micro routines with the hope that from small things you will build big things, and you have a couple of anchor things. I had some guy corral me on Saturday. He goes, Eugene, this Mayweather thing is never going to happen unless he needs to. Oh my God. Don't you realize it's happening? And we're talking about tense issues. When we talk about Mayweather and McG, and I say it's happening, I'm not just talking about a future time as yet unknown. I'm talking about now. Anytime somebody gets to their Twitter account and tweets something out who's got, more than 500,000 fans, it's now. I put on my Twitter feed in the next 5 minutes, pooped in the front yard, drag, haha, LOL, and who cares? Nobody. Nobody cares. Like Evander Holyfield said to me, you could poop in a hole in the ground. Nobody cares when you're poor. But nobody's holding a gun to Mayweather's head and making him talk this slop. So it's happening. If it happens in the ring, well, then who knows about that? But it's happening right now. These guys are talking, and if they're talking, they're selling. And if they're selling, they got to be selling. They're not selling me on Dancing with the Stars. They're selling me very specifically on the prospect of a fight. It's happening now. It is happening as we speak. You know why? Because it plays better than contract negotiations. Well, we've seen the management team for Mayweather has pulled out of Schedule C. It's the fourth clause down about image rights, electronic arts, video games, maybe a new franchise. Oh, and he makes a move for a pencil. I mean, come on. What are you? This is not entertaining. This other thing is entertaining. I don't know. And if you don't think it, you don't think there's collusion, you are crazy. Suddenly, Mayweather goes from threatening the bald one with, I'll tell your fighters what they're really worth, to jousting in the press with McG, who's they've talked to through back channels. And now they're talking about a fight. Come on, get the fuck out of here. Do not be played. Find the red, find the red, find the red. My Israeli three-card Monty guy. Nobody who knows anything about life plays that game. You're not designed to win it. We're talking about it. It's happening. Oh, yeah, Eugene. Well, you know, Pacquiao, they talked about the Pacquiao fight for a long time. And then they, oh, my God, this is boxing the boxing. You know what MC Hammer's doing right now? Hammer? Managing fighters. Who's the golden guy? Who's the Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Productions? Combat sports is combat sports is combat sports. We're not talking about Bob Arum, Don King. We're not talking about widely disparate disciplines. Good strikers who can manage a sprawl do okay. I'm looking at you, Stipe. We're talking about the future. So, you know, they're gonna, yeah, stop, just stop. It's happening. The fight in the ring is at this point immaterial. Immaterial. Completely immaterial. You right now they're doing market studies about, would you pay $100 for the ticket, $120, $200 for the ticket? It's Quake versus Quisp. It's Goobers. It's Raisinets. It's Coke versus Pepsi, and you have a front row seat on it. Don't be sucker. Enjoy it. Maybe that's what we're doing. Eugene, you're going to participate in March Madness. We've got an office pool. Come on. How about the scrappy underdogs win this one? How about the scrappy underdogs go up against the perennial winners? Bad News Bears style. Come on. Come on. It's a whole old Hollywood adage. I tell you what I'm going to tell you. I tell you, and then I tell you what I told you. I'm selling you 3 times. So yes, a few weeks back, I admit it, I was panicking. I was panicking about the future of MMA. Panicking. But $4.2 billion doesn't buy you panic. It buys you cold-hearted, clear-eyed, chilly Apollonian, not Apollonia, Apollonian, after the Greek god Apollo. Planning, plotting, designing, not accidental. And Kid Nate was feeding into it. We were, and it was like the fog of war. We're both good. He's getting panicked and I'm getting panicked, and we're ratcheting up the panic. Oh my God, oh my God. No, my friends. You look at the the talent pool is shallow. Really? Do you think Chuck Liddell could go the rest of his life without working again? And, you know, you got to fight on Bellator. You got Fedor Mitrione. You got Rampage and King Mo, and you got Chael Sonnen and Wanderlei Silva. What's wrong with this picture? Nothing. It's a profit-sharing arrangement, just like in the movies. Get out. I can get big-name stars for this, but I'll give you a piece of the pie. I can't give you upfront money. I'll give you a percentage back end. Okay, best deal I've heard this week. Let's take it. Chael has realized, much like Bob Sapp realized in the end, doesn't matter whether I win or lose. Because you bought the ticket anyway. I'm not saying don't buy the ticket. I'm saying that from this field, the William Blake style, from this hubbub, there'll be a beast slouching towards Jerusalem. Or is it Yates or is it Blake? I don't remember. I never do. You stick around long enough. I mean, 10 years ago, we weren't talking about Johnny Boney Joni. It was nice to have him happen and just watch the rise. Connor McGee, the insufferable goon, is back. Yes. Nice to see his rise. It'll happen again. No need for panic. You know who panics? Guys like me who panic. You know how much money I have in the bank now? $37. March is the cruelest fucking month. Forget about November. It's March, baby. The Ides of March. It's a long slog. I can't buy shit for 5 days. Fortunately, I need to lose weight for this fight I have coming up. It's 222 with a gi. Weighed myself just after losing all his water weight. 214. Holding it steady. If I'm making an 8-pound swing in 3 days, we could go the other way too. So so this is what's happening. And Tuesday 7:20 California time, we're going to be doing maybe we'll be doing. I want to go to dinner with my kids, so I push it to Wednesday. So could do it on Wednesday, or Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I want to talk to you about something. And we're coming up to show 251. So this is 271. So in 20 shows, we have something serious to talk about. And now that those of you are here and paying attention, I want to cover a few things. April 19th, I fly to Prague to play a show. And I'm playing shows until May 6th. So looking at the calendar, as I am right now, that leaves April 24th a show, and that leaves May 1st a show, and actually that leaves May 8th a show, because I think the plane lands at noon or something, and then I got to rush to work. So that's 3 shows. Now, those of you who have followed the show long enough know that hella high water, I do the shows anyway. I've done the shows from Copenhagen. I've done the shows from Paris, where they were pulling a dead body out of the Seine. No shit. Watching. I was on a boat, a parked boat. It had Wi-Fi. We were playing the show on a boat. I've done a show from Lyon, outside. I think one of the Diaz's lost, and I was beside myself by the river, down by a van, down by the river. I've done the shows from all over Europe, passing out in Paris another time. It is possible. There's a time lag, and I got to watch the fights and, kind of try to catch up on the fights, but I could do this. So those of you who remember the foreign locale shows, let me know whether I should bust my ass to do the shows while I'm on the road, if that would please you. And also, you have to cross-reference it from the fights that I'll be covering. So we're talking fundamentally Monday, April 24th. Oh, it's more than that. Yeah. Monday, May 1st, and Monday, May 8th. So you're looking at the weekends before. We're at 271. We got 251. 3 shows is a big deal. It's up to you to decide. I'm your hands. So let me know. Think about it. Consider it. You can, now that the Twitter feed is wide open, you can tweet me. It's at the @ symbol Eugene S. Robinson, all run together. Eugene's Robinson. Or if you want to go Instagram, it's Mr. Sleep 3. But I'm still locking up the Instagram. I want to keep that party polite, keep it small. So you got to have a profile with pictures on your profile. If you don't have pictures on your profile, I assume you are a spy. And we've got lots of spies. And then none of this thing like, oh, you okay me? No, I okay you. Nah, that's not the way it works. If you got your privacy thing set to privacy, I'm not letting you in until you let me in. Sure, it's like when I was 6 years old, the little girl dragged me in the bathroom. Let me see your penis. What? No. Come on, let me see your penis. Oh, okay, I'll tell you what. You show me yours first. And she does, and I go, ah, and I run out. Spend my whole life doing that. Slightly autistic approach to sexual contact. What do you mean, Eugene? Well, I mean, you know, woman says, hey, can I come back to your place and watch TV? I'm like, okay. And she comes back and we're laying in bed. And I'm like digging whatever's on TV. You know, we're watching TV. Cool. And, you know, she puts her head on my chest. And I'm like, cool. I guess this is what friends do with each other. Friendly style. And then she sits up and takes her shirt off. I go, ah, it must be hot in here. It must be hot because she took her shirt off. And next thing I know, oh, my penis is in her mouth. Hey, wait a minute. This is gone beyond friendly. This is very friendly, and then finally I got it. I tell you, LSD is a dangerous drug. You know, you can't take anything at face value. Consequently, you end up like being autistic. Like I don't know if A means A. I don't know if B means B. It could be C or D. Who knows? Of course, I wised up. Gone the other way after talking to Mr. Marcus, the porn star. He's like, yeah, everybody says they're moral, high-minded individuals. Nobody but nobody. And once you put on those glasses, it's like that movie with Roddy Piper. You put on those glasses, and the world is a smut-filled escapade. Take the glasses off, and you have people acting normal. You put them on, smut-filled escapade. And I'm going to close the show. The show ends early this week because I got to get up to this radio station, and it's a dead week. I don't got a lot to talk about. And I'm not one of those guys who's going to drag it out for the sake of propriety, drag you out another 15 minutes. But I don't feel proud of this. But I almost beat up the retarded guy in the hot tub. Wait. I get in I'm going to the hot tub. I've done my run. Feel kind of sore. Want to soak. Go to the hot tub. I'm walking. I hear there are a few people in the hot tub. And as I clear the corner in the hot tub, there's a guy looking at me like this. Yeah, okay. And I look at him and I nod. Hello. Now I can tell he's not right. I don't know if you remember Zippy the Pinhead cartoon. His head is very kind of Zippy-esque. Whatever. There's a woman in the hot tub with an Asian woman with her back to him. He's looking at her phone and he's trying to engage her. She refuses. Some other Asian woman comes out and is talking to him, and he's sitting there on the edge of the hot tub and he's splashing the water, which lets me think that he's splashing away the urine or whatever fecal matter he's got, but I'm as far away from him in the hot tub as possible. So my old lady comes out. We're hanging out. 20 minutes in, we said we're gonna jet. She goes in the shower room. I go to the bench to get my stuff. And as I see going to the bench, I can see he's watching me as I walk out of the hot tub. And he wants to engage, right? Somehow he wants to engage. I won't have it. Had a hard day. I'm under a lot of pressure. So I'm standing there by the bench, and I hear splash, splash. And then I feel liquid on the back of my legs. God damn it. So I'm drying myself with the towel, about to put on my clothes, and I feel it, and I turn around to dry myself off. I mean, you know, I look at him and he's like, and I just look down at him, and I'm drying. Now I see him, and he's like, a little more water on my legs, and I go, oh, you're splashing me. Stop it. And the guy's like, and he's splashing. I go, stop it. And now I walk closer to the guy. And finally I can see that his handler, this older African-American guy, comes out, and he's like looking at me. So I'm looking at him. And my friend used to have a dog, and the dog he'd be fucking with his dog, and his dog would go, ah. Not enough to break the skin, but just enough. Then the dog would go like this, and then look at it. I'm like, you want me to fuck you up? So I'm looking at the black cat, and I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like back and forth, and back and forth. And then I say very quietly, I don't want to be wet. I'm drying up because I do not want to be wet. And the videotape that you have in your head, it starts to play, right? And then I'm envisioning myself leaning down into the hot tub, got bang, got bang, got bang. And I like, you know what, man? You're going to get known as a guy who beat up the retarded guy in the fucking hot tub. And I was like, look, I might want to jerk off in the middle of a liquor store, but I don't, because life is about boundaries. It's about the shoebox. Any number of things could happen in that shoebox, but not an infinite number of things. And if not an infinite number of things, pretty easy to designate what's going to happen. And what determinism, free will, oh, I'm free to choose. You're free to choose from what? An infinite field of options? No. So I get close to him. The black guy is watching. I'm watching the black guy. I'm watching the guy. And then when I stand there and finally say, I don't want to be wet, and stand right over him, he kind of goes, I turn around and I get my stuff, and I know now I have to leave. Because you know how this works? It was like that guy who had the drug problem, Steve Howe. And the guys are heckling him like crazy, and finally his agent sitting there, and he goes, hey, why don't you shut up? The guy's really trying. He's right by the dugout, so Steve Howe can hear him. And the guys are, like New York hecklers. And they wait. And then they say, who are you? His drug dealer? Bench clearing brawl, and I got bang. So it's all about timing. I stand over the guy, I turn around, I grab my shit, and I got to get to that. I got to get out. I got to get that beat, because not only will he splash me again, but the next splash will be huge, and I have to acknowledge it. And I don't want to beat up the retarded guy in the hot tub. So I grab my shit, boom, around the corner, and I'm out. Successfully having managed not to have a least fine moment of my life happen in the hot tub of 24-hour fitness. And with that, my friends, I end the fucking show. It's round number 271. I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson, with the S standing for Splashy. And we'll see you on either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday with If I Did It and Care Don't Care preview. Also, I'm gonna, if you go down below after I post it, I'm going to put a link to last week. I put it to the new Oxbow music video. I think some of you watched it and dug it. I actually have a story that I could never have written for Vice's Fightland because it's about a street fight. It's about a new approach, a anti-Baylor-esque approach to rape and attempted rape, street justice style. Dave Chappelle jokes about rape. I beat up rapists. It's the link below. Check it out and make a comment if you so choose. Anyway, that's the end of the show. We'll see you in a couple of days at Eugene S. Robinson, Mr. Sleep 3 on Instagram. Be careful. Take care of yourself. Look what you made me do!